Her gaze once commanded rooms, screens, and stages across the world. For decades, Judi Dench transformed silence into emotion, a glance into meaning, and a single line into an unforgettable moment. She became an actress whose power never depended on spectacle, because her greatest instrument was the extraordinary connection she created with audiences. Yet behind the achievements, awards, and standing ovations was a private battle unfolding slowly. The eyes that had carried countless characters through tragedy, comedy, romance, and espionage began to lose their ability to see the details that had always guided her craft. Her journey from a young performer in York to one of Britain's most celebrated artists was built on resilience, discipline, and an unwavering devotion to storytelling. Even as vision loss changed her relationship with acting, she refused to define herself by what had disappeared. Instead, she adapted, relying on memory, trust, and the people around her. Her story is not simply about fame or illness, it is about identity, courage, and the complicated question of when an artist truly stops creating. The early-stage foundations that shaped a legendary performer. Judi Dench's relationship with performance began long before international fame arrived. Born in York, England, in 1934, she grew up surrounded by an appreciation for theater through her family connections and early exposure to the arts. When she stepped onto the Old Vic stage in 1957 at the age of 22, she entered a world that would become her lifelong home. Unlike performers who chase immediate recognition, Dench developed her reputation through patience, precision, and dedication. Theater demanded discipline, and she embraced every challenge it offered. Her early years were shaped by Shakespeare, whose language allowed her to explore the deepest emotions of human experience. She became associated with the Royal Shakespeare Company, where her performances demonstrated remarkable intelligence and emotional depth. Critics recognized that she possessed a rare ability to make classical characters feel alive and contemporary. Her approach was never about showing technique, it was about revealing truth. Every movement, pause, and expression served a purpose. Those foundations created the performer audiences would later admire across generations. The Shakespearean mastery that defined her artistic legacy. Among Judi Dench's greatest achievements was her extraordinary command of Shakespearean roles. She understood the rhythm, complexity, and emotional architecture of the playwright's words better than almost anyone of her generation. Her portrayal of Lady Macbeth alongside Ian McKellen became one of the defining theatrical moments of her career. The production stripped away unnecessary decoration and placed the focus entirely on the actor's abilities. Dench's interpretation revealed a woman filled with ambition, fear, vulnerability, and psychological conflict. She avoided simple portrayals of villainy and instead explored the humanity beneath the character's actions. That approach became a signature throughout her career. Whether playing queens, mothers, lovers, or morally complicated figures, she searched for emotional honesty. Her partnership with other performers also became legendary because she valued collaboration over personal recognition. Decades later, colleagues continued describing her generosity, humor, and commitment to the craft. Shakespeare gave Dench a foundation, but she returned the gift by making those centuries-old words feel immediate. Her performances proved that great acting is not about preserving the past, it is about making audiences feel something in the present. The unexpected cinema journey beyond traditional theater. Although Judi Dench was already a respected stage actress, cinema introduced her talent to a much wider audience. Her film career demonstrated that artistic reinvention can happen at any age. Many performers struggle when moving between theater and film, but Dench adapted naturally. She understood that the camera captured different details and required different forms of expression. Her breakthrough with international audiences came when she became M in the James Bond franchise. Taking over the role in GoldenEye, she transformed the character from a background authority figure into a commanding presence. Her version of M was intelligent, direct, and completely unimpressed by unnecessary charm. She brought strength and complexity to a franchise traditionally centered on male heroes. Over several films, she became one of the most recognizable figures in the series. Audiences who had never experienced her stage performances discovered the same qualities theater critics had admired for years. Her success challenged assumptions about age, opportunity, and leading roles. Dench showed that an artist's influence can continue expanding long after others might expect their career to slow down. The honors and achievements, reflecting extraordinary dedication. Throughout her career, Judi Dench collected honors that reflected both public admiration and professional respect. Her Academy Award win for Shakespeare in Love confirmed her ability to create powerful performances even with limited screen time. The recognition was not merely about one role. It represented decades of excellence across multiple forms of storytelling. She received numerous BAFTA awards, Oscar nominations, and international acknowledgments for her contributions to entertainment. In 1988, she became a Dame Commander of the Order of the British Empire, an honor recognizing her remarkable service to the performing arts. Yet awards never appeared to be the reason she continued working. Her motivation came from curiosity and the desire to explore new characters. She often approached each project with the same enthusiasm as a young performer beginning a first major opportunity. That humility became part of her reputation. Behind the celebrated actress was someone who remained deeply committed to learning, preparation, and connection. The achievements mattered because they reflected the impact she had made, but they never replaced the joy she found in the creative process itself, the personal losses behind a publicly successful life. While Judi Dench's professional achievements were extraordinary, her personal life included moments of profound difficulty. Her marriage to actor Michael Williams created a partnership built on shared understanding of performance and creativity. Together, they had a daughter, Finty Williams, who later followed her own path in acting. Their family represented a connection between generations of performers. However, in 2001, Michael Williams died from cancer, leaving Dench to experience a devastating loss while maintaining a demanding career. Grief often arrives privately, but public figures are frequently expected to continue appearing confident and composed. Dench returned to work, not because the pain disappeared, but because acting remained an essential part of who she was. Her ability to continue performing during such a difficult period revealed another form of strength. The audience saw the finished performances, but they rarely saw the emotional effort required behind them. Her story reminds people that achievement and hardship can exist together. A successful life is not free from suffering. It is often defined by how someone continues moving forward while carrying invisible burdens. The quiet arrival of a life-changing vision condition. In 2012, Judi Dench learned that she had age-related macular degeneration, a condition affecting central vision. The diagnosis arrived during the same year she completed her final appearance as M in Skyfall. For many people, losing clear vision would represent a major personal adjustment. For an actress, the impact was especially significant because sight plays a crucial role in learning scripts, recognizing expressions, and navigating performance spaces. Macular degeneration affects the macula, the part of the eye responsible for detailed central vision. It can make reading difficult and create blurred areas that interfere with everyday tasks. Dench's condition did not erase her abilities, but it changed how she accessed the tools she had relied upon for decades. She kept the diagnosis private for a considerable time, perhaps because she understood how quickly the public might focus on limitation rather than achievement. Her decision reflected a desire to control her own narrative. She was not ready to become defined by a medical condition. She remained an artist adapting to circumstances, not simply a performer losing an ability. The adaptations that allowed her to continue performing. After her vision declined, Judi Dench found new ways to continue engaging with acting. She relied heavily on friends and assistants who helped her prepare by reading scripts aloud. Instead of absorbing words from a page, she learned through listening, repetition, and memory. For an actress known for extraordinary preparation, this required a completely different approach. She had to trust others, while maintaining the same artistic standards she had always demanded from herself. Her ability to memorize and deliver complex material remained remarkable. The process became more challenging, but she refused to surrender her connection with performance. This period revealed qualities audiences had always sensed in her work: determination, adaptability, and emotional intelligence. Acting had never been only about reading words for Dench. It was about understanding human behavior and finding truth within language. Those abilities existed beyond eyesight. Her continued appearances showed that creativity can survive when familiar methods disappear. She demonstrated that limitations may require change, but they do not automatically erase talent, passion, or the desire to communicate through art. The emotional reality of losing a lifelong ability. The deepest challenge for Judi Dench was not simply practical difficulty. It was the emotional adjustment of losing something central to her identity. For more than 60 years, her eyes had helped her observe other performers, study scripts, and communicate subtle emotions. Vision was part of the foundation beneath her artistry. When that foundation changed, she faced questions that extended beyond career decisions. Who is an actress when reading becomes difficult? How does someone continue creating when the familiar path becomes uncertain? Dench's reflections on her condition revealed honesty without self-pity. She acknowledged the frustration while still recognizing the value of the experiences she had gained. Her attitude showed acceptance without surrender. She did not pretend the transition was easy, but she also refused to allow difficulty to erase decades of accomplishment. The public often celebrates performers for their strength, yet Dench's vulnerability became equally meaningful. By speaking openly, she allowed others facing similar changes to see that adaptation and dignity can exist together. Her journey became a reminder that identity is larger than any single ability. The unanswered question of retirement and artistic identity. Even with serious vision loss, Judi Dench has resisted using the word retirement. For her, stepping away from acting is not a simple decision controlled by age or circumstance. Performance has been part of her existence for nearly her entire adult life. It has provided purpose, friendship, challenge, and a way to understand the world. Saying goodbye completely would mean closing a chapter that has shaped every stage of her identity. Instead, she has spoken about continuing whenever opportunities feel possible. Her perspective reflects the mindset of an artist rather than someone measuring life only through productivity. Acting is not merely employment, it is a form of expression and connection. The possibility of performing may change, but the desire to create remains. Judi Dench's legacy does not depend on whether she appears in another film or steps onto another stage. It already exists in the countless performances that influenced audiences and inspired generations of actors. Her story continues because it represents something universal: the human desire to contribute, connect, and remain engaged with life despite change. The enduring legacy of a remarkable human story. Judi Dench's journey represents far more than an extraordinary acting career. It is a story about resilience, transformation, and the relationship between talent and vulnerability. From the Old Vic stage to international cinema, she built a legacy through honesty rather than imitation. Her performances succeeded because audiences believed every emotion she expressed. Even as her vision faded, the qualities that made her remarkable remained untouched. Intelligence, humor, generosity, and dedication continued shaping the way she approached life. The loss of sight changed her methods, but it could not erase the decades of knowledge stored within her. Her voice, memory, and understanding of human nature remained powerful instruments. Future generations will remember her awards and famous roles, but they will also remember the courage with which she faced uncertainty. Judi Dench showed that an artist's value does not disappear when circumstances change. True legacy lives in the impact left on others. Her gaze may no longer see the world as it once did, but the world continues to see the extraordinary mark she has made.